Highly gifted, my jacket's thrifted. Watch me get a pattern shifted, just acting different. Living in my minutes, I'm catalytic. That's why they love to jack the style like it's on a Civic.
Never before have we been on such an incredible opportunity. Yeah, me and you. Welcome to Africa Rising. Education as the key to unlocking our potential. It shows how education is the key to unlocking your potential and the potential of the entire continent. Literally, we are standing at the precipice of an incredible future, and you are a part of it.
So now, even with backdrop of tight economic environment, where jobs are few, it's sometimes society's developmental curve is sometimes a cart before the horse scenario. And what do I mean by that in practice? So, yes, there isn't necessarily a great number of jobs right now in South Africa. We'll unpack that also a bit. But without a labor force that's qualified and competent, we can't attract more investment.
Okay.
We're not a sound destination for local capital, never mind foreign capital, to come into the country, because if it's a wholly uneducated, wholly unschooled labor market, who are they going to employ to do what sophisticated levels of work here for their clients somewhere else in the world?
Yeah.
What are they going to manufacture here to export to their local markets?
Sure.
So it is sometimes that tension on this developmental trajectory that you feel despondent because there's a limited number of jobs. But by the time you complete, the job market will have changed again.
Sure.
By the time you've gone through the 3, 5, 6 year journey, you've had a few part-time opportunities to further enarmor your profile and your skills. New money has rushed to South Africa. New industries have been grabbed and opened up. But besides that, South Africa has become also a premier destination to recruit talent to either work from home for overseas businesses or international businesses, or to be migrated overseas to work in those businesses. Because South Africa represents talent that's much different to the rest of the world, in the sense that our talent is hardworking, enduring, will be able to acclimatize to diverse cultures and circumstances, skilled, technically proficient. We represent the best in all of those in all of those segments, and why so many recruit our labor force. Yeah. So even if the opportunity is limited here, think of that you can capture international opportunities, and you can capture international opportunities also at a rand value exchange, because you only paid South African rands to earn this great transportable qualification that will help you earn international currencies in future. You don't have to go overseas to study at greater expense and then hope for a job opportunity. So that's so the essence is the why. Yeah. There are multiple reasons for the why. There's the selfish, there's the future, there's the additional opportunities, there's the unknowns that can become the knowns and the new. So the stats bear it out. The stats also bear out that those who have a school leaving certificate earn more over lifetime than those without the school leaving certificate. Sure. The stats also bear it out. Those, as you look at those rungs on the NQF, those with degrees earn over life, those with postgrad earn over lifetimes more than those who don't. Yeah. So we don't like to think of ourselves as average, but I'm average. And in that average component, I have in my lifetime out-earned those who don't have it, because I've had access to opportunities I wouldn't have had. Yeah. The final reason why, and I'm never so much bothered about the nature of the qualification. But I'm bothered in the sense that you must study something that's useful, that you're also interested in. But the stats also bear out that many of us don't work in the fields that we studied in. And by way of example, so yes, a chartered accountant studied the chartered accountancy, undergrad curriculums, postgrad curriculums, went through the training, sat for the professional board exams, went through the internships, so qualified chartered accountant, works initially as that. And then what do? They find opportunities in investment banking.
Yeah.
They become look at the list of CEOs on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Yes, it has a bearing on what they studied, but they're not practicing in what they studied anymore.
Right.
Yes, they use the skills in their day-to-day, but they're not. So
Yep.
that's one example. Law is the same.
Sorry, I do want to give you a really good example here. There is a big media company, Prime Media Broadcasting. The head of Prime Media Broadcasting is an engineer.
Yes.
So he's an engineer. He's gone through the full engineering. You know, this is what he did, and to your point, he's now running a media company.
Yes.
So just to give that a real sort of anecdotal feel about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I mean, engineer, now he's running radio stations, right?
So, and that's the unknown unknowns.
Right.
That's the fourth why. Because the vastness of opportunity still lies ahead.
Sure.
And without the qualifications, because remember, the qualification represents you have undergone a change, you've acquired new things, you're making new meaning as you now go, different new meaning than you would have without it.
Yeah.
And that creates that vast expanse of a horizon for opportunities.
Sure.
The very, very last one.
Okay, we're adding another one.
Is the story of Africa, and it's the untold. It's a quiet story, and it's becoming more and more told. But this is our millennia. The next century, the next couple of centuries, this is the African story, and the African story starts by just looking at the basic stats. By 2050, 1 out of every 4 people on the planet will be an African.
Right.
We will be 2.5 billion people on this continent.
Right.
By somewhere between 2030, 2040, we will be 33% of the youths on the planet.
Right.
We have just signed, the last nation was just added to the Africa Free Trade Agreement.
Right.
To bring the benefits of free trade on the continent. We're now about a $1.6 trillion economy. We're going to balloon up to about a $3 trillion economy in the next 2 decades. This opportunity is enormous. And this opportunity this time around will be made of by us who live on this continent.
Right.
So if you don't study, if you don't acquire the know-hows and the skills to move to make sophisticated decisions about production and about sales and about finances and about technical things and to bring new industries, to make the new industries real and beneficial, it won't happen. Somebody from outside the continent is going to then make it happen for us.
Right.
So the look forward is extremely positive, and it is so positive that there's not a single nation outside Africa that wished they didn't have our future of vast number of youths, a wonderful continent with all the riches and all the, not just riches in minerals and nature, but in human capital.
Sure.
And that you can have it at this turn in time where we can acquire skills quickly. We don't have to, we're not 1880 where it's a difficult, how many engineers can you generate? What is an engineer even? If they don't practice, they don't try. So we can quickly generate sophisticated human capital. It is a tremendously exciting opportunity, and that's the other why. Because the future is actually very, very, very bright for us Africans.
I feel
tremendously.
Like we need a whole episode on this, because it's such an interesting thing, because you don't hear this being spoken about. You know, and you'll hear it in pockets, but I feel inspired by it, right? I feel inspired by this conversation, because we're at the precipice of something that says, this is ours, this is our time as Africans, this is our place to play, and you've got to be equipped for that.
Exactly.
You've got to be equipped for that. So as we look into the future, this is where we can do that.
What an opportunity, right? There we go. You've got to take it with both hands. You've got to run with it. Thank you so much for watching episode 6. So in episode 7, we're going to dive a little deeper into Boston's diverse educational offerings. If you're looking for a program that feels tailor-made for you, your ambitions, then you don't want to miss our next episode, episode 7. We'll see you then.